Happy Easter. It's a low energy Easter for me. I have very little motivation to get anything done, but I'm going to get stuff done because you don't have a choice when you have animals, right? Homesteading means you got to get stuff done, and being a housewife means you got to get stuff done. So Amber's work week starts tomorrow, which means that I'm also going to be doing laundry and maybe a little bit of meal prep so that her lunches are easier, and so that if I continue to feel this way, dinners are easier. Anyway, but I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna start with the quail because they are the twee bebes and need the most upkeep. Then I'm gonna rabbit because the chickens are kind of on autopilot, not 100%, but kind of, at least until tomorrow. Hi. He ran from the back of the yard to say hi. Hello, it's gorgeous. Are you loving the weather? Not too hot? Is it good for you? Okay, let's go find the bebe quail. We don't have to find them. I know where they're at. They can't go anywhere. But they are 1 week old. 1 week? Yes, today they are 7 days old. And they are already starting to so quail and pheasant and like those ground dwelling birds, they do what's called flushing. When they get startled, they shoot straight up, right? Like they use all of their energy to shoot straight up, which is why you have to have either a very high topped quail enclosure or a low one, so that they don't, like 3 to 4 feet. It's right at that sweet spot where they can get enough energy to up and like hurt themselves because they don't have quite enough space to slow down. Anyway, but they're starting to do that in the brooder. And I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all gonna pop out the brooder. They look like popcorn, so gotta be approaching very carefully. Okay, into the quail room. It's actually the animal shed. But we're calling it the quail room because that's all that's in here right now. Okay, I am going to be graduating them to a waterer that is for older chicks now that they are not going to drown. And food, they're a little larger, so now I can put other feeders in and they should be fine. So we are graduating. Where's Bendy? Where's Bendy? Alrighty, this is food and this is water. Now look, okay, just a size comparison, right? I got lady hands, so I don't have very big hands, but that is how big this hole is. And I don't know if y'all remember that photo from when the quails hatched, but that is how big the quail was. So this feeder would be way too big. It still is too big, but I don't have an intermediate feeder for them right now. I'm working on that. Anyway, so this feeder I'm going to give to them. And they should be fine with it now. They are older. I am not going to put the jar on top. Usually you could fill a jar up and have it, but I'm not going to. In case one does go in here, it won't get stuck and suffocate. It can still just but it's going to keep it a little more together. It's going to keep them from scratching it out, and it's also going to keep it, or not keep it, but it's also going to train them to get ready for getting older. My plan with them, okay, I am probably overcomplicating things, but I'm doing my best. Green is one of the pictures one of the colors that they see, and it's also the color of like grass and foraging. So when I ordered their waterer and their feeder, I ordered it in green to encourage them to look and see it, and that it would like stand out from like the bedding. I planned on staying with green, and I'm going to probably go back to green, but when I went to get the materials from Tractor Supply, the Impeccables, they come in cute sets, but they didn't have green. So I got the blue with lemon and the blue for water. Now, water. I think you've seen my waterer. If not, I'll show it to you. This is a 3D printed water from Etsy, and it is very shallow, and they are able to drink from it, and it worked really, really well, and I did not have to worry about anything. Some people use these and just put marbles in them, which is doable, but I just did not want the possibility of drowning at all. And so I went with this. It was on clearance, so it was the same price. And it worked really, really well for little ones, but they're getting older now. They drink more water. So, and they also can stand up. They are doing better. I know they're going to keep themselves warm, so they're not going to get soaking wet. They understand a bit more. They control their bodies better. So I'm going to graduate them to this water, and that's going to be good for them. So we're grinding food, filling up the water jar, and putting it in. And I was so worried last night. Now listen, I had a lot of other stuff going on, so my anxiety was probably already a little like up, but I wound up hyperfixating. I have a camera in there, and I was watching them because 2 nights ago, not this morning, not yesterday morning. Yeah, okay. So 2 nights ago, I don't know, 3 mornings ago, 1, 2, 3. It's irrelevant. I came out and I was going to do their reset for the morning, and I realized that their brooder plate was not warm. It was turned off. There's a switch that switches it from brooder plate to chicken heater. And I guess that switch, when I was putting it down in, got caught on the wood, and it turned the brooder plate off. Luckily, two nights ago, when that happened, we were warm enough that they were able to huddle and keep warm. I did check on them periodically, and they were never like peeping or making noise or acting cold, but they were in a cuddle puddle. So last night, now they're much more feathered, even though it's only 2 nights. The quail are growing rapidly. They are much more feathered and they are larger. But when I was watching them, they were kind of cuddle puddling. And now chickens and quails will do that anyway. Like chickens definitely do. So I looked it up, and quails do as well. But I was really freaked out because I was like, oh my gosh, but they weren't peeping. They weren't indicating that they were uncomfortable or cold. So I didn't want to come out here. The door makes a lot of noise when you come in. I didn't want to startle them or freak them out in the middle of the night. So I just wound up leaving the camera on, turning it up really loud so that if they did start to peep in distress, saying I'm cold, I'm uncomfortable, I would hear it. And then I didn't trust myself to hear it because it was so quiet. I was like, maybe I can't hear anything. So I had to watch it. And basically I was in this like weird not sleep. I would start to fade away and then pop my eyes open and watch them for like 5 to 10 minutes and then start to drift. And it was a long night, but they're fine. And the heater was on. And I think I'm going to adjust the camera to see that little light that indicates that it's on, because last night when I tried to use the camera to check for that light, it was just out of frame. So gonna do future Sonia a favor and adjust that. They're so smart. I swear, I feel like a proud mom. It's like, oh, my quail can eat. And they figured out the water. They're a little like, why is it so deep? But it's not too deep for them. They're fine. Somebody is enjoying the pink girl car. And look, the last of the babes are getting quite large. Let's count them. I watched last night as like one of them adventured around, even though it was getting cold. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thought we were supposed to have 9. I'll have to look around and see if somebody is cuddled up with an older sibling. Hey, baby. You know, that's the same food that's in the feeder. They're so cute. Crimmy. Crimson, are you still upset with me? Crimson's upset with me. Huh? Happy Easter. It's a low energy Easter for me. I have very little motivation to get anything done, but I'm gonna get stuff done. One of the things I'm trying to do is provide the quail with not only places to rest their little feet, because it is gonna have a hardware cloth bottom, but I want them to be able to get off of it, but also I want them to have fresh greens. So this is wheatgrass, and I'm growing it in this little thing. I'm gonna log how long it takes to get to like 6, 7 inches tall, because I would like to have fresh ones I could switch out for them every couple of days. So the first part is seeing how long it takes to grow, and the second part is seeing the best way to grow it, and then the third part is seeing how long a tray like this lasts a little colony or covey of quail. The quail are actually going to live on our porch, so I'm also working out some shade situations. That's why we turned the swing sideways so that the quail could be like right here. And ideally, I'm going to grow this on top of their cage or enclosure. So I'm putting this here just to see if the growing conditions here will be good for us. Wait. Okay, so this is going to be one continuous quail cage, and it is like about 2 feet by 6 feet, and it should have 2 or 3 coveys in it, like little groups, but we'll see. It's going to depend on how everybody gets along. That side is going to be a sandbox with houses, like with a house that's covered and stuff, and this side is going to be open ground. But it's going to have, like I said, plants and things like that in it, so that it's not like they're stuck just on that. And this is where I'm going to set them up for now. We're just going to see how it goes. And I think it's going to be lovely. I think the cats, I don't know if you can see Christopher back there. Chris! Chrissy! Hey, Chris! I think the cats are going to be really excited about having the quail right here. But don't worry, I'm not gonna let the cats give the quail heart attacks or scare them too much. Basically, they'll just be able to watch, but they won't be able to touch or interact. And it'll be like cat TV or live entertainment, but not that the quail will even know. So in the coming days, I'm going to be covering all of this with hardware cloth that is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch openings, and it's going to go over all of the surfaces so that nothing can get in, snakes, cats, wildlife, anything that might be interested in the quail or the eggs. And then it won't be too long before the baby quail that are in the brooder now wind up in this setup.
Did you know if you buy 2 chicks, they turn into 20 magically? Did you know if you buy 2 chickens and got a little space in your yard, you end up with a goat or some goats? Did you know if you get chickens, you're going to start talking to goats? And they're going to listen. It's getting crazy. Did you know that you don't even need a rooster? In most places, you can't have a rooster, but if you have chickens, then you're going to buy a rooster because you got an incubator and you want to put the eggs in the incubator to hatch chicks. Did you know you're going to be watching chickens just as much as they be watching you? Did you know that once you get chickens, it's a 90% chance you're going to end up with a pair of these and wake up in the morning collecting eggs? I ain't know. I ain't know all that. So I'm just trying to tell you, before you buy a chicken, this is what it leads to.
Happy Easter. Hello. Hey, everybody. It's nice to see you guys here. I love it. Y'all are just kicking stuff up. That's Nell. And I think that's a Malthea in there. I can't quite see. Yep, that's a Malthea. Lilith is coming out the coop right now. And I believe maybe is over there. And that's Anise. Actually, that's Penguin. Anise is ball in the back. I'm just checking it out. Today's the first day we let them just free range like this, and they got along with. Okay, this is the first day that we let them free range, and that Panson hasn't been a complete asshole, so everybody's getting along. Which I'm not really sure how that's going to translate to the coop, the big coop, because I don't plan on putting him in the big coop, but I like that he's able to hang out with them and not be a douche. God. My rapitas, look how sweet. My rapitas. You almost got up. Hey, Totes. Hey, Demi. How are you, Dems? That's a zip tie. Way to point out that I dropped a piece of plastic. It's birdie. I cannot believe it. I love it. I actually tried to free range them once before. So I don't free range them all the time. And there's a couple of reasons. Dogs, one reason. 2 was we were new here. And 3 was that we actually tried it like while we were out here with them. And Pants attacked the hens, and then him and Totem got into a big fight. So it's been a while. Today I tried again. I was like, let's see how it goes. And Pants behaved himself. There was a little bit of like space jostling, but after that they've been doing well, and he's been leaving me alone, which is interesting. This is gonna be the true test. Look, I'm still cleaning up all of this, so ignore it, but this is gonna be the true test. I'm tired and I'm ready for my day to be wrapping up, and the chickens are not back yet, so I'm gonna go try to figure that out. The Wyanette's are. I don't know how to actually say that. I think that's my laced girls. It's at least one of them. That looks like Birdie. Okay, an Amalthea. That might not be Amalthea. That might be Bonnie Gray. I can't tell because of the fencing. But I'm gonna go steal some high quality treat for them, which is actually goat sticky feed. So I'm gonna go steal the goat sticky feed and see if I can get them to go back in for me. But the future of their free roaming depends on how well they go back home tonight. It wasn't the easiest thing, but they figured it out. So I'm feeling hopeful for their ability to free range. Probably the thing that I hate the most, I mean, outside of like sick animals and trying to figure out like how to do things correctly like that, but it's probably the freaking flies, which we moved in here, and before we even had a ton of animals, we're homesteading farm style, we had flies because they have these bushes. I thought for sure something had died in our bushes in our garden. Come to find out, they were just the type of bushes that flies like to mate in. They were basically love hotels for the flies, and we still have them around. We're trying to get rid of them, but so we already have flies. But when you have like chickens, especially chickens and rainy weather, you're gonna have flies, and then they find other animals like the rabbits. So I've been battling flies, hanging fly traps, and it's like, it's working. It's so gross. Okay, now last night I couldn't sleep because of this, but you and I are verifying it together. The brooder is on. I have reset their brand new puppy pad, fresh shavings. I topped off the food, and I cleaned their water and gave them fresh water. So let's release them. They're getting so big. Remember how little they used to be over here? It's crazy. Oh, see that baby? I couldn't leave him in the splint any longer. I believe he's just gonna live a handicapped life. And that's okay. We're gonna put him in a small environment. I'm basically making an accessible apartment for my my disabled quail. And no, that's not how I am with everything, because you really can't be when you're doing things to sustain life and feed your family and everything else. But this is my first clutch hatch of quail. It was the only one that came out white. It's got an adorable little dot on its head. It's just been through a lot, and so this little quail is getting the easiest life that I can give that little quail, and we'll see how far it gets. I mean, I think that the average life is like 2 to 3 years. I'm not sure. I think that's going to really depend on if the quail is a girl or a boy, because I think that if it's a boy, it'll be fine. It'll just hang out, be fine. If it's a female, the fact that it can't get its body into the correct positioning might affect laying, and then that could lead to egg binding, which is potentially fatal. So obviously that's a whole different conversation we'll have to get to when we figure out if it's a boy or a girl. But for now, it does not peep. It does not act like it's in pain. I can touch it, I can move it, and it doesn't respond. It's just that the leg is aligned, and I think it might have developed that way, and I had it braced and it seemed like it fixed itself. But as they got older, the chicks gained weight and other chicks were like roughhousing, it went back to being splayed. But the baby eats, the baby drinks, and the baby gets around. So as long as the baby is happy and not in pain, that baby's gonna have a little life here. As a side note, because they are starting to flush and jump straight up, moving the top is startling them. So I'm gonna move them into this brooder that opens this way, because approaching quail from the side is supposed to be more settling for them, as opposed to approaching them from the top, which is how a predator would normally go after them. So I am gonna attempt to move them there, but before I put them in there, I'm actually going to create a liner. So the truth is that depending on how long that takes, those quail might never see that brooder. That brooder. Okay, so I'm at a place now where I'm gonna put Amber's lunch together, feed the oldest, and start wrapping it up for the night. I think I have to get up early. Let's check that out. I usually only do evening appointments, but I'm fairly certain that I moved Walter to an early day. And I hope it's not too early because it's Paducah. 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm so relieved because I'm tired. All I want to do is go to bed. But what I was going to say was, I think that I'm going to be moving my hatching out to the shed. So there will be 3 or 4 brooders and a minimum of 2 incubators. But, you know, that could change. I don't know. Fun thing is a friend dropped off 3 dozen quail eggs. So I think I'm gonna be hatching even more quail very, very soon. And that is exciting.